Greetings everyone and welcome to another video on World of Warcraft. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these. Actually not since 7.2 in the Artifact Knowledge catch-up or whatever it was. So basically I want to talk about 8.2, Nashatar, Mechagon, and just kind of the state of BFA. And whether or not I recommend people come back, because I have gotten that question a little bit. And I always joke with people, oh, it's never too late to resub, but lately I've actually felt kind of bad about that because, well, mild spoilers at the end, I'm going to say don't come back. Unless you're a hardcore raider who absolutely wants their ahead of the curves, like, it's not worth it at all. So yeah, let's talk Mechagon first, since I'm in Mechagon. Mechagon is the part that intrigues me the most about this expansion, although I currently have other priorities before I just start running around Mechagon. First and foremost, I want flying. I don't like being on my ground mount. I want to just fly. So that's priority number one for me right now. Just get flying. Get the ability to not be grounded so much because it sucks. Like, I got a taste of flying from one of the world quests or something here in Mechagon recently, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much nicer. This is like the superior mode. So flying is my number one goal right now. So I'm tracking Nashatar. I'm gonna have to contract Mechagon just because y'all can't see, but like it's giving a decent amount. Here, I'll just pull up my reps. But yeah, like I just hit friendly with these guys today. So, oh, I see something. Mechanized chest, mechanized chest. So, yeah, Mechagon is interesting, and I'll be spending more time here. It's designed more for collectors versus gameplay, which I think is very good. It's been compared to Timeless Isle, and yeah, it has a similar vibe to it, kind of. Not, like, exactly the same, because I don't think there's a world boss out here yet. Sorry, still waking up. But it's interesting. It's got a lot of crafting and a lot of construction stuff. I have yet to actually find construction, but there's stuff to do. There's cool things. So overall, I'd say, you know, it's a pretty good expansion. I'm not a big fan of gnomes, but I can look past that because, you know, there's fun to be had here. Really. Like, I'm enjoying my time here, and there's not been too much that bothers me, just that the jetpack, the mob that gives the jetpack, in fact, I might go wait by that while I talk, because it's easier to talk. That mob is way up that hill, which without a jetpack is kind of hard to get to. Also, the big daily the big world quest of the week is of the day is the cells. Yeah, and there's another one that way. And why have I been slowed down? And I'm guessing that is, I'm gonna just assume that I've stumbled upon the Pet Battle World quest of the day. Let's say, damn, I'm getting all my chests just trying to get to Rustfeather. Alright, yeah, so Mechagon. Lots of fun stuff to do for collecting. You do need the reputation. It's got more standard daily quests versus world quests. Which did, I notice, allow them to do some more zone-wide stuff, for example. So I think that is one of the weaknesses of world quests, is that they are very limited in their location. Do I think that's like, oh god, we need to abandon world quests? No, I think they're still a step up from dailies for the most part, but having some dailies, you know, just a little bit of everything, I think is a pretty good balance. And they do, and daily quests award more rep. And a lot of the goals in Mechagon are player set. Like, for example, here I come to grab, well, apparently grab a secondary world quest that or a daily I didn't even know was here.
Every problem has a solution.
Neat. Well, that's nice. Yeah, as you can see, this is a very popular rare because those who don't have flying, this is the item that gives you flying drops from this guy. He has some other things that can drop in a pet as well, but like, you know, being able to fly is kind of priority number one for most people, myself included. And it's nice again to see people gathered. What else? So yeah, like I said, Mechagon is more set your own goal. Very much just, you want an item, here's what you can do. Shouldn't take too long to get any particular... Really? To get any particular one item, but... At the same time, my druid is not the greatest combat-wise, so I have to actually, like, try when it comes to fighting. Which means blowing cooldowns on things like this, because I've been getting murdered. That is one of my main complaints with Najatar, by the way, is that things hit like a truck, and I know it's going on the assumption that eventually we will be, you know, much, much stronger with either fully upgraded benthic gear or the raid gear, which is at 415. But right now, it sucks. Okay. Mechagon, so Mechagon, I haven't gotten to do the dungeon yet, but, you know, it's probably going to be like Karazhan, it'll be fun, but at the same time, Mythic Plus hasn't felt very good this expansion just because of the difficulty. Like, they purposefully made it painful, and they made it way too painful. It's like, way too much trash with one-shot mechanics, or just stupidly difficult stuff. Like, they overestimated the enjoyment factor of a Mythic Plus for difficulty. Like, just having things harder in the different affixes, that definitely was enough. You didn't need to actually make the base dungeon a nightmare to even run on Heroic when you're trying to get geared. Like, they took the competitive aspect and they kind of pushed out a lot of the casual scene. Because I don't like Mythic Plus, because that, for me, like, raiding is what I want to do, not Mythic Plus. I don't like the difficulty factor. I liked dungeons, and I liked it in Legion, where, yeah, like, you could still blow up the base ones, but, you know, as you got to 15, yeah, it got kind of harder. And that's where the challenge was. So, Najatar. I might pop into it at the end of the video, but for now I'm just waiting on Rustfeather. It looks like he'll be up soon. I know he's got up to a 45-minute wait timer, but it looks like there have been people here for quite a while. Oh, sorry, I'll be yawning. Yeah, so I suspect he'll be back sooner than later. Najatar. It's the Naga Zone, and it's Broken Isles 2.0. It's not as bad as Broken Isles 2.0, but it's still not great. The mobs hit like trucks. And I don't think they well positioned some of the big mobs, because, you know, since Legion they've had it where it's like, you know, you got the really small mobs, you've got the regular mobs, and then you've got these beefier, they're not quite elites, but they're not okay, like this Restoring Scavenger. This is what I'd call a normal mob. It's like, it's got some health, but it's not like super powerful. You can take it out, no problem. You can take 3 of them out as well as you're relatively geared. The big ones will have 3 times that health and hit hard, and in Najatar have all had, at least as far as I can tell, very anti-caster abilities, and really annoying shields. Like, some of them have shields that do, like, just 75% reduced damage taken, and unless you're a demon hunter, you can't get rid of it, or a mage. Like, 2 of the 12 classes can get rid of it, but most of us can't, which is really annoying, and they're all grouped together, so you're very, very likely to run into more than one of these big mobs and not realize it at first. Like, Zanshir Slaver is a big one that has, you know, 300k health. 300k health, and hits like a truck, and has an interrupt ability that'll spell lock you if it goes off. So it's really, really painful. Those travel in groups almost. Like, they're not stacked, but they have such high overlap that you're very likely to pull two at once. Even my heroic Battle of Desara lore geared paladin was having trouble with them. This druid gets melted because my eye level is only 388. I am not looking forward to attempting attempting Eternal Palace with this character, but I'm gonna try. As far as an underwater zone, I really wanted Najdatar to be underwater, actual underwater, or new Naga buildings. A lot of it's just that same Night Elf ruins we've been seeing for a very large chunk of Legion. Like, there's a couple spots where they've got their own unique architecture, but similar to how Argus was a lot of reused stuff from Draenor, Najdatar is a lot of reused stuff from Legion, and that just kind of bothers me. Like, this is the heart of the Naga Empire. They've been down there for 10,000 years. They could have rebuilt that city 10 times over. Instead, it's mostly Night Elf ruins. And it's just... I don't know. I'm bothered by that. I was bothered on Argus, where it's like, this is the home of the Legion. Show me an impenetrable fortress, and instead we just got wastelands with random spikes and green fire. Like, that... I don't know. Art department usually does some cool stuff, but lately it's like, you know, I get Stormwind wasn't built in a patch, but goddammit, these are places that should rival Stormwind, and they don't even come close. Like, Antorus, design-wise, was a huge letdown. Bosses were fun, but the actual instance was terrible. Like, Desara lore, at least, you know, we ran around a capital city. That at least felt somewhat interesting. Eternal Palace isn't looking to be great, but, whatever. As long, like, I blow it up on normal, struggle on heroic, and I'm not even going to touch mythic. So, Najdatar has the buddy system where you get these followers. Every day you can get a level added to them, which makes them stronger. At least for the Alliance ones, it's hard to tell which ones are which. I thought I grabbed the healer one, and I did, but the tank one looks like a DPS one. And, yeah. Ooh, what the... Oh, someone dropped one of the fell things. Yeah, so the buddy system, it's okay. They also have some daily quests there, but they're only giving 50 rep versus the Mechagon ones, which are giving 150. Mind you, it'll be even better if you're a human, because you'll get an extra 10%, plus contracts and other stuff. I'm going to go grab that herb real quick. Just trying to think what else. Like... I don't know. And then the Pearl system's okay, I guess. But, like... And the gear. I will say this. Benthic gear has been pretty cool. Like, actually... I just need one more gnome. Here, gnomey gnomes. Where's one of you that ain't dead yet? There's one. Rescued... So, the gear is cool. It's got effects that are relevant to the current location and the raid. I was surprised that they included stuff that'll be like extra damage to aberrations and raids. So now suddenly you've got a really, really good thing for, I think it's the second to last boss. Where, yeah, now you've got a piece of gear that just straight up increases your damage. So it kind of reminds me of the old classic gear with, like, fire resistance and such. Okay, so that quest only gave me 75, but it did give me 45 spare parts. This is the one thing I'm going to complain about in both zones, Mechagon and Najdatar. There are a lot of items that are filling up bag space. If you're doing professions and you're not constantly running to the bank, you're going to fill up. If you're not an enchanter, you're gonna fill up because you gotta basically scrap everything for explosum, which loads you up on resources you don't need. I'm not a leather worker, but I wear leather, so most of the stuff I scrap gives leather. I don't even have a leather worker because it's the worst of the crafting specs. Like the armor makers. Because at least tailors get friggin', like, tailors get bags and cloaks, so they have a pretty decent market, and blacksmiths get to make armor and weapons. I meant weapons, and I was thinking shields. Yeah, so they get to make weapons and shields. Leatherworkers don't. And hell, engineers get the guns. It's like leatherworkers make leather, and while it is the most used armor spec in the class, the farming method has always been the most annoying, and it's not fun. So I get really annoyed. So bag space was an issue. I went to try and actually scrap stuff before I came over to here. See, that was the nice thing about Obliterum, is you didn't get loaded up with useless resources. The scrap thing technically tanked the resource economy, because now random people are constantly posting it. It screwed up the auction house terribly. I wanted, like, just Obliterum 2.0, please. Did not want to deal with this scrap mechanic, and I hate Explosum and how it's tied to certain pieces of gear. Like, I can't make my freaking Dark Moon cards without Explosum. That is what was holding me back. Also, I'm out of ink, but I've got more stuff I can mass mill. So, yeah, that's just annoying. Very, very annoying. So, yeah, Najatar, I don't like it nearly as much as Mechagon. It's got mounts, but I don't know, just... I always thought Ashara would be an expansion boss, and to see her reduced to a mid-patch boss, like... And I don't know, part of this might just be the fact that I still harbor a lot of hate for Kil'jaeden and the Broken Shore. Like, Kil'jaeden is just not... Like, they need to nerf Mythic Kil'jaeden soon, because, like... I want to complete certain sets that he drops the final piece on, specifically my Demon Hunter gear for that, and it's just... It's not happening, because you actually need to be able to still Mythic raid in order to do him, because of how stupidly annoying his opening combo is. Like... Just Blizz, drop the damage reduction at least. Like, let him be vulnerable in that and let us blow him out of the sky while he's flying around. Instead, it's like, nope, 10% or 10% of his health, then he does this, then he does that. It's like, it's a mechanically frustrating battle that, like, was near impossible to do back in the day. And now it's worse. I don't know, a lot of... It just feels like Blizz is making a lot of choices lately that have not at all been in line with the player base. And I guess this now brings me to my overall thoughts on BFA. Okay, so 8.2. I recommend Nashatar if you're into collecting, or I recommend Mechagon if you're into collecting things. Nashatar is the required content. Okay, I'm going to briefly touch on essences. They're okay. They're better than Azurite. They said it now, so any Azurite gear you get that's over a certain eye level, just going to have all the stuff unlocked no matter what. You don't have to worry about grinding your heart, which is good, because I still don't even have 50. And you don't have to friggin', like, you don't have to worry about, oh, sweet, this is a massive eye level upgrade, but I have no traits, so therefore it's actually worse. Like, you don't have to worry about that happening anymore. The essences are okay. I'm pretty sure for Boomkin, just the first one's the best. I don't even know how to upgrade it, but I don't know. Until the raid starts and I actually can get some data, I'm not really pursuing many. I've got a couple in my bag. I haven't bothered to go back to the Forge yet. Just because I don't really care. Damn, Rust Feather, come on. So, yeah, the essences are okay. I do like that they at least get you doing stuff, but, you know, the best ones are tied to mythic rating and rated PvP. So, yeah, it's not great. Alright, so BFA in general. Anyone who was wondering, is 8.2 a good time to come back? The answer is no. No, it's not. Don't come back. Wait for 9.0, because BFA has been bad from the start. Basically, the developers... It kind of goes back to Legion's artifacts. where they made the classes amazing to play for the most part. A couple of them were still getting tweaked. Demonology was kind of in a weird spot. Shadow Priests and were kind of slaves to one talent, and then Frost DKs just... that's my own personal gripe on I don't like... Oh, Rust Feather. I don't like Breath of Sindragosa, the talents, and the fact that it's the core of the spec has made me switch to Unholy. Even after these 8.2... Okay, but they made all the specs feel really good, really amazing. You had these awesome things. The legendaries were really meaningful, and yes, the RNG was annoying, but it was really cool to have these options. And then they took it all away. They warned us they were taking it all away, but the players were basically of the thing. It's like, this is too good. You can't, like we can't live without this. You raised the bar sky high. Yeah, you guys can't see my hand gestures. So, okay, let's say down here was end of WAD specs. Legion's up here by my buff bars. BFA is unfortunately down at World Quests. Yes! Yes! I got the anti-gravity. That's the thing that gives me flying. Woohoo! I get to fly around now. Oh, and I get an herb. Give me that herb. Mine. Woohoo! Alright. Yeah, so when BFA was launched, this is what has ruined the expansion. It was poisoned from the start, and don't even get... And, this is before we get into even the war campaign. From the start, Azerite and the class design killed the expansion from the get-go. Because they cut the classes to ribbons, and they barely pieced together basic functionality. And then they promised that Azerite would function as Artifacts 2.0. Well, as we all know, Azerite armor was a giant turd. It failed miserably at what it was meant to accomplish. And it sucked. It had problems that were pointed out day one of Alpha. And honestly, I'm assuming at that point things were so far along that there wasn't really a way to put the brakes on. If right now, Alpha was almost a year ago. Here we are a year later, and this is when they've actually started to make changes. They already tried to make better traits, but this is when they're finally changing, the whole re-unlocking your stuff all the time. Yeah, okay, does this still only last for 20 minutes? Yeah. Okay, what do I need? I have the parts. Alright, I'm not sure if this is... Okay, so it crafts me 3. Perfect. Sorry, I've been... God, this is such a nice... It's so nice to have the pack again. This is actually getting a hotbar slot. And this is why. I can fly! Oh, this feels so good. And this is the other thing. It's I get their whole, yeah, grounded for the beginning of the expansion, then fly afterwards. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly, pun intended, again after the BFA, because... Oh, gotta watch out for the thing. So... Yeah. The classes have been terrible. No class was spared, basically. Everyone was cut to ribbons. It was bad. And then again, Azerite blew up. So from the get-go, things have been terrible. Oh, sweet. I just unlocked the... I just got 140 finally, so now I can start getting the new stuff. I'm going to label the new crafting stuff with 8.2 as just kind of a neutral thing. It's yay, new stuff, not so yay, new resources. But yeah, BFA's been poisoned from the start, and then a lot of the content, and then just Blizzard... Again, it feels like they're really isolated and in a think tank, because what the general... And that they're not testing stuff with audiences way ahead of release. Because every other thing, it feels like, why would you do this? This is a terrible idea. And it's did they just not have better options? Because, I don't know. The whole we beat the Legion thing just... And then the faction war just didn't feel right. Like, if you had actually asked the Horde players, like, hey, we just beat the Burning Legion, wanna go beat up the Alliance? Most of us would have said no. Because I'm just tired of it. Tired of the faction war. I hope, and I'm not actually, no, I'm not gonna hope this, because they've teased in that new cinematic that came out at the end of the war campaign about Jaina and Thrall wanting to kind of end the constant back and forth of the Alliance and Horde. Well, except for the whole that doesn't work thing. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a battle pet. That doesn't work because that back and forth is a core part of World of Warcraft, is the war. But unfortunately, an infinite stalemate war doesn't actually work, and I think the writers are realizing this. One side's got to win, one side's got to lose, and it's very clear from forever that the Alliance was always going to be the winner. Like, there was never a chance the Horde was going to win. Like, we never had a chance. I know I'm playing an Alliance character, but I'm Horde at heart. I was undead at heart, but now it's like I feel terrible because my faction leader has literally genocided multiple races now. And it's like, look, I liked the original Forsaken story. We were the victims of the Lich King, forced to be undead against our will, rebelling against a tyrant and trying to find our place in a world that kinda hates us. That was a compelling story. Now what are the Forsaken? Oh, we're evil, we have plague, and screw everybody else. Hey, I thought Anchorweed couldn't spawn up here. Sweet. Yeah, now it's like everything, or orcs. We are an honorable shamanistic race, but we were corrupted by demons. Great compelling story. Nowadays, Zug Zug Me Smash for the Horde. Honor is secondary. Like, it's just bad. I don't know. There's the game, the story, everything. WoW is not in a good spot. Legion, honest to God, Legion should have been the end. Like, if there was ever a point to end World of Warcraft on a high note, it would have been ending with Legion. Because, boom, Sargeras is beaten, the world's at peace. Instead, nope, more and more war. War for war's sake, basically. That is what BFA was. We dragged the Zandalarian, we dragged the Kultirans in. Stories that were okay, compelling-wise, but it's just, I don't know. I'm tired of Warcraft. I'm actually playing Final Fantasy XIV with my friends more now. Like, again, I'm doing raids just cause Maw. Which one's Maw? I just want to raid because that's what I enjoy doing, but I don't know, if that was it, I don't think I'd be too upset. Yeah, BFA is just, it's not been good. The story has been bad, especially if you're a Horde player, because it's like, you're the bad guy, and there's, like, it's not morally gray. Like, Sylvanas has gone Garrosh 2.0, like they said they wouldn't, and Blizzard keeps saying one thing and doing the opposite, and part of it does feel like they've been so locked into these things, and they have, again, a lot of this isn't the original Blizzard team. Like, remember, Blizzard's been hiring and people have been leaving left and right. Like, we don't actually have most of the original World of Warcraft team. I'm not gonna touch on Classic much. It looks cool. I don't know how long-term viable it'll be, but I'm gonna give it a try. But just Warcraft has become, I don't know. It's become infected almost with this situation where the devs have a vision, and that vision is not at all in line with players anymore. Like, Azerite was something that is compelled to keep people playing. Almost anything that is designed, whose first purpose is to keep people playing, is going to fail. because as soon as this feels like a chore, as soon as playing the game feels like something you have to do, like I have to do all the dailies in Mechagon, I have to do all the world quests in Nazjatar, I have to grind up all this artifact power so that I can use the traits on my armor, I have to have certain levels in order to do this content. That's when it fails. That's when, holy crap, 2 anchor read in one go. That's when it all comes crashing down. When it's no longer a fun choice, when it's mandated by the game of, oh, hey, I want to, it's like, okay, I want to go raid Heroic, which is the highest level I can achieve, usually. What did I need to do to raid Heroic Battle for Dazara Lore? I needed to grind the hell out of a heart. And, by the way, I switched characters because, well, I had to. So I had to start from behind. Eventually caught up, but let me tell you, it was a hell of a catch-up. Grinding that heart was terrible. And I feel really bad for Mythic Raiders, but they've always had a grind. And then I had to grind up gear, and the gearing has been terrible because, well, so RNG, it's might as well be a loot box. God, I hope they don't have loot boxes. Just, yeah, it's been pretty bad. So yeah, don't come back in BFA. Maybe come back in 9.0, whatever that is. We'll find out at BlizzCon, probably. But just BFA's been bad. The developers, they're coming in with ideas that are not great. Azerite resulted in trying to fix a problem that wasn't really a problem of, oh, hey, the stuff you gained from the artifacts, when you were done grinding up, that initial tree, you were done. That was it. You just were then pumping into an infinite well of one. What? Oh, HK8. It's just like you were after that just doing whatever it's called. I'm just trying to think, and I can't even think at the moment. But yeah, Concordance, that was it. After you were done, you were just filling up Concordance of the Legion Fall. That wasn't really a problem. As far as problems with Legion, that wasn't even top 20. But they basically treated it like it was problem number 1. And that was the biggest, I think that is the epitome of BFA, is that Blizzard was trying to fix problems that didn't really matter. Like, they weren't, oh my god, this is going to kill the game problems. They were like minor inconveniences that by changing became literally the biggest problem with this expansion. Like, yeah, no, the classes suck. That is the end all catch all. The core gameplay that the entire game revolves around, the most important part of the game, sucks. And we know that they're not going to fix it until 9.2 or 9.0. God, I hope they don't wait for 9.2. The game will die by then.
Rustful faces countless enemies, but it is reassuring that their numbers have been reduced. Thank you.
So, cool. Got a new color. So I finished the thing. I didn't get any, never mind, I did get a pretty big chunk of rep for that, actually, so you guys can see. Okay, never mind, that was worth doing. Yeah, no, the base classes suck, and they said that it's basic, and I know they said one thing, but, you know what, what it actually meant was, the classes are so bad that like they can't fix it in a patch, not even in a major patch. So we have to wait for 9.0 for the classes to be good again. And this is the only bit of optimism I'm going to allow myself, because all my optimism in the past has been not, is that Classic's coming. Classic might outdo retail. Like, just, like, if, I know you need a retail sub to keep going, but Classic, if they're smart, they're going to put the WoW token in Classic, so that you can Classic and keep your sub going. Because Classic just looks so much better. And they're going to learn from that. The problem is that they might already be at work on 9.1. Like, I think, yeah, that's part of the problem, is that Blizzard looks too far in the future, that they can't respond to the present. But, yeah, so they might learn from Classic. They might learn what actually made the games fun but hard, because right now the game is hard and not fun. Alright, I am Selvalis. These are my thoughts on 8.2. Don't come back. Wait for 9.0. If you're unsubbed, stay unsubbed. Farewell.